Okay, guys, today I want to talk about closing, the closing sequence, and why we do it the way that we do it. Part of our obligation as sales reps to Leaf Home is to give every customer every opportunity to purchase. And when we give the customers every opportunity to purchase, Leaf Home's obligation back to us is that they will keep us in front of appointments to run. So they say, hey, we will provide you leads to be able to run. We say, hey, we will do whatever it takes to sell those leads so that we can keep getting opportunities put in front of us. Leaf Home has a very structured closing sequence. It's a rather advanced closing sequence compared to most companies, and it's what we call the basics. But I find that it helps to know the why behind what we do and why we do it. So when you look at the closing sequence, and if you start on your sales manual, page 37 with the pre-close, when you think about why a customer called us out to their home, they called us out for a free water test. That's it. Come out, test the water, and give them a quote. But after we come out and we go through everything, we give a masterful presentation. We do that water test. We find out what type of issues they have, and we discover that they actually have real issues that need to be addressed. Well, now we have to be able to turn it from just a free water test into a sale. And that's where we start with the pre-close. The pre-close is one of the most important things that we can do because it's essentially us saying for the first time, hey, John, hey, Mary, is it okay if I actually try and sell this to you? Because when we say, John, Mary, wouldn't you agree that you've got some problems going on here that probably need to be addressed probably sooner rather than later? Great. This is definitely something you're going to do since it's not a matter of if but when. If we can show you a way to save a lot of money, possibly work out a price or payment that fits into your budget, is there any reason other than the price or payment you wouldn't consider it while we're here? The answer to that's going to be two parts. Usually it's going to be no, it always just comes down to price, to which we just got a first commitment to a price. The second, they may come back and say, no, 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 we're not doing anything today. Nope, 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 never make a decision on the same day. Hey, no problem. Obviously we've spent a lot of time here together. Would you just do me a personal favor and at least just keep an open mind to a fair business proposition? Okay? Now we're going to go into the actual close itself, starting with the drum roll. So before we ever lay down a price, we actually want to go back through everything that we're going to do. We're going to say, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come out and we're going to install that STO, that softener plus taste and odor combo. That's going to soften the water, and it's got that catalytic carbon inside of it that's going to remove all the chlorine, the chloroform, all the chlorine-based byproducts, and get you that soft water that's going to be good for your skin and your hair and help out your appliances. We're also going to be putting in that UV. That UV light's going to give you hospital-grade protection at your house. Make sure if you ever have a main break or something like that, you go under a boil water advisory, you guys aren't going to have to worry about that. And then we're going to put in that RO, which is going to give you that bottled water on tap. We're going to send out our factory trained installers, and they're going to treat your house with white glove service. We're going to come out, we're going to install everything, and we're going to leave the area better than we found it, and it's backed up by one of the best warranties in the industry. So that's the drum roll. Then we're going to present price. Now, whenever we present price, we always also want to include a monthly payment. Now, when you roll that price out and you give them a monthly payment, I want you to count to 5, okay? So when you say, hey, John, Mary, everything comes out to just $14,267 or a monthly payment of $286 a month. Now, I have found when it comes to doing projects like this, we have 2 types of customers. Now, keep in mind that when we roll out that price, we're not asking them to buy anything yet. We've laid out a price. We're going to give them just a few seconds to let it hit them, let it absorb them, but then we want to find out how they're paying for it. This is crucial to find out in the beginning, because if we find out that they want a 5-year zero interest loan that's going to cost us 18% on a dealer fee, it's better to find that out early than to find that out at the end. So we want to find out how they're paying for it. You know, John, Mary, we have found when it comes to doing projects like this, we have a couple types of customers. We have folks that would just write a check, put it on a credit card, or folks who want a monthly payment. You know, when it does come to doing this project, what type of customer would you be? Is this something you just swing a check at, or is this something you'd be looking at a monthly payment on? If they say payment, ask them, how does this monthly payment fit into your budget? If it doesn't, what type of monthly payment fits into your budget? If they say it's something they would just swing a check at, okay, so you guys would be able to write a check for this pretty comfortably. We want to find these things out right here. Again, we haven't asked them to purchase anything yet, so all we're doing is having a conversation. Once we've established how they're going to pay for it, we're going to ask them, hey, John, Mary, what is your actual opinion of the price? An amazing thing happens here. They'll tell you. And that's what we want them to do. Hey, it's a lot higher than what I was expecting. Okay. And we're going to go into our 3-tier bump. You know, before I came out here today, what were you kind of hoping something like this might run? Now, in the 3-tier bump, we have hoping, expecting, and most people. So when we say, what were you kind of hoping something like this might run? Oh, you know, honestly, we thought something like this was only going to be $4,500. Okay, and how did you come up with that number? Well, it could be, you know, just shopping online, looking around. That's just kind of the number that we saw. Okay, and I understand that, you know, it's not uncommon for people to do a little bit of online searching. You certainly find softeners and things like that for around that price range. But after seeing the difference in what we do, you know, actually coming out and doing a true water test to find out what your real problems are and what it would take to solve those problems, and then designing a system that's tailored for your needs. You know, what works for Miss Jones down the street may not work for you. What works for you may not work for the Smiths down the road. But actually tailoring something that's going to work for you, and then seeing that we're not just using cheap components. We're actually putting in a digital head that's high efficiency. It's going to count the water by the gallons and base regeneration off of that, not just on a timer. You know, knowing that we're going to use factory-trained installers to install this thing, give you that white glove service. Can you see how this might have been a little bit more than what you were expecting? Well, yeah, I can see how it might have been more. You know, maybe 20, 30% more. Yeah, okay. You know, most people, when they see everything that we're going to put into this and the quality and the warranties that go behind it, actually expect something like this to be $9,000, $10,000, $11,000. Let me ask you though, we're going to go into our add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So here we want to add up everything that goes into the project, they love about it, and what makes it so expensive. We want to go into what we could take away from that quality to make it a cheaper price. We want to multiply all the intangibles of having healthy water over a long period of time, and then we want to divide that cost over time. So when I say, hey, John, Mary, what did you love about what I showed you today? Well, I love the fact that you're actually going to address all of the problems. You know, I love the fact that we're going to actually have soft water. It's going to feel better on our skin. It's going to feel better on our hairs. It's going to save our clothing. I love the fact of knowing that you're going to get the chlorine out of the water. I love the fact of knowing that, you know, you stand behind what you do. Whatever they say, always add to it. Yeah, and how about knowing that, you know, we manufacture everything. We stand behind it, and we're going to give you the best warranty in the industry. We're going to put in that 3-way bypass valve. Just in case anything ever does go wrong or something happens, you can bypass the system so that you still have water working until we can get back out there. You know, and there's a lot of ways we could make this less expensive. I mean, we do use catalytic activated carbon, not just using activated carbon from coconut shells like our competitors. I mean, obviously, it would be a lot less expensive for us to go that route, but you wouldn't want to cheapen your project like that, would you? No. And how about the fact that it's made in America? You know, obviously, we could ship all of our manufacturing overseas, have it made in China, bring it in on a boat, probably save some dollars like that, but you wouldn't want to sacrifice quality like that, would you? No. And then there's the intangibles that you can't put a price on. How about knowing that you have clean, safe, healthy drinking water for you and your family? That when your kids and your grandkids come over, that they're drinking healthy water and they're not being poisoned by chlorine, chloroform, things like that. But you know, you said you honestly thought something like this was going to be around $4,500. And you know, seeing the more that we put, you said it might be 20% more, even at $7,000, but we're really not that far apart. So when you take $14,267, and guys, have your customer pull out a calculator, and you take away $7,000, that leaves a difference of $7,267. Even with a high number like that, hey, John, Mary, I'm going to assume that when you took out a loan on this home, you took out your standard 30-year mortgage. Great. I'm only going to use a third of that. So if we take 7267 and we divide that by 10, that gives us $726. Now, typically there's 12 months in a year. So if we take 726 and we divide that by 12, that gives us $60.53. And on average, there's 30 days in a month. Some months are longer, February's shorter, but on average 30 days. We divide that by 30. That gives us $2.01 a day. John, Mary, do you guys know what that number represents? That's the difference between what you were hoping it was going to cost and what it would actually cost to solve your problem. About the cost of a bottle of water a day solves your problem. Now, you wouldn't tell me that our system's not worth a bottle of water a day, would you? But that's the thing. Now we're going to go into a coupon discount. This is where you want to find out, are they senior? Are they military? How did they find out about us? This is a great time to offer a 10% senior discount. And again, we haven't asked them to buy anything yet. You know, ask them, has anybody in the house reached the age of 55 yet? Anyone ever served in the military, armed forces, first responders, EMT? Okay, we'll give you 10% off. Brings the price down to whatever it is, gives you a monthly payment of whatever it is, and pause. Let them, right there, you're asking for the order. And some people might buy right there. Most people aren't. When they kind of balk at it and be like, yeah, I got to think about it. Okay, well, let me ask you, when you guys are thinking about it, when do you think you'd be able to make a decision on something like this? A couple of weeks. Oh, so soon? When people are really serious about getting something done, so are we. Now we're going to go into our immediate order discount. This is going to be the 15% off coupon that we offer online. You go back to how did you hear about us? Because right now we're running an additional 15% off. So this price right here with the original coupon, that price is good for a year. And it's important that we distinguish that. We're going to put down, we've given them a price that's good for a year, but for folks that are ready to get something done, we have an immediate order coupon of 15% off, which is going to bring your payment down to this. Now, at this point, some people are going to buy. Some people are not. But this is when you're going to get your first true objection, which we're going to do lyric. Listen, acknowledge, restate, isolate, close. So if people go, yeah, I just need a couple days to think about it. Okay. So you're just saying you need a couple days to think about it? Yeah, I can appreciate that. When people tell me they got to think about it, there's really only a few things you're going to be thinking about. And the first one is it even something that you're going to do? Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to get it done. Well, great, because, I mean, let's face it, if it's not even something you're going to do, it's, we're wasting each other's time. But, there's really only a few things you're going to be thinking about. Next is when it comes to hiring a company. After seeing everything that we do and who we are, 20 years in business, Leaf Filter has over 1 million satisfied customers. The awards, the accolades, member of NARI, Super Service Award by Angie. When it does come time to hiring a company, are you going to be thinking about whether or not we're the right company to hire? No? Some good company? Okay, great. The other thing you might be thinking about is when it comes to the actual system itself. After seeing the type of system that we're going to put into your home, completely solve your problem, and the warranties that go associated with it, are you going to be thinking about whether or not you can find a better system? No, we like the system. And I hope it's not me. I hope you don't feel like you could have gotten a better sales rep over. No, you were great. Okay, well, I mean, it's definitely a project you're going to do. We're a company you would trust to do it. It's definitely the system that you want, and heck, you even kind of like me. Really, the only thing you're going to be thinking about is the overall cost, right? Yeah, it's just still more than what you thought. What would the overall risk be at getting it done at whatever price? The next video, we're going to go through that. No real risk, just more than what I thought it was going to be. Okay, now we're going to go into our Flex installation discount. Flexible install, I'm going to show in the next video how to actually do that as we go through it. The same with the pack up and the lost sale close, because we want to learn how to be able to work through all of these until we leave the house. We want to give the customer every opportunity to purchase on the way down, but we've got to make our discounts real. We've got to make every discount real with an understanding of why we can't offer it later. The one thing that has to become abundantly clear is that the price that's good for a year is the think about it price. Any discount that we're offering after that for an immediate order is a sale price. There is a difference between a quoted price and a sale price. And this is what we have to learn to walk through, but we want to give these people every opportunity to buy. So in the next video, I'm actually going to show going through the closing sequence on paper.